as we go through the questions and go through, I hope that you can just unmute yourself and ask any questions when you are in doubt or you want to clarify anything. I'm fine with that. You just have to unmute yourself, or if you want to type in the chat, that's fine with me. Is that okay? Varun and Anlak, are you okay? Thanks. Okay, let me share my screen. Are you able to see it? Okay. Okay, so basically, these two sections that we're going to go through, one is situation writing, which you are quite familiar with. Have you done writing letters before in school? Informal or formal?
Informal.
Informal. Have you done formal, Anlak? You've done formal letters also? Okay. Besides letters, what other situational writing types of writing that you did? Can you think of others besides letters? Or have you done only letters? Have you done speeches, like writing a speech? No, not yet. Okay, but you will probably be learning that. Have you written a report?
No.
No, okay. So now you're just starting off with just letter writing. And it's good to start off with just informal letter writing first. Actually, situational writing is one of the best sections for us to score. Do you know why?
Okay. But it's easy to score the marks.
Yeah, but why is it easy to score? Because they give you a guide as to what they want you to write.
They give you like everything.
They give
that you
everything. You
want.
just have to fill in
Yeah.
the blanks. Yeah, so to speak. So if you look at the guide, that means the guiding questions or guiding points, and you look back at the context that they give you, you just have to fill in the blanks. And of course, you have to be just aware of your tenses and your grammar when you're writing. That's really important, of course. That's the one that differentiates the marks. The high marks and the low marks is the fluency in the writing. But otherwise, to pass, as long as you give all the points, you get the content and then you can pass it. But we're not just looking to pass, we're looking to do our best. Yeah. The whole idea is to do your best when you're doing any piece of work. Yeah, regardless of whether there is marks or there are no marks. Because then you can feel the, how you say, your potential being realized. When you do something, it's not always for the marks. It's to show that you can actually do it. You can achieve a higher level than what you are or what you have been achieving. So that's really, really important. Okay. Now, so situational writing, let me share with you. You have to feel that you are in that situation. It's like you close your eyes and you imagine you are there and it's really happening to you in your life. Then you can actually write with passion and feeling. And that will convince your reader when the person is receiving the letter. Like as if, for example, if you're supposed to write to a friend, you have to really believe that you have a friend who's maybe is in another country or wherever, and you want to convey this message to him or her. You have to feel it in your heart. It's like acting. Have you done acting in school? Like role play? Literature class?
Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine you're that, okay? So that's the first point here on situational and composition writing. Now the second thing on current affairs, the most important thing is for you to be able to explain your idea and give examples. Just remember these two things. Make a point, explain your idea, give examples, and you'll never go wrong. Okay, so I think there's someone else who joined us, Shena. Shena, can you see and hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, can we have your video on so that we can see everyone? Great, thank you. Okay, so today's session is on informal email, right? Which you've already seen. You've done the worksheet. Okay, and the second part would be on the current affairs. Okay, so first thing, when we are given a situational writing task to do, these three questions are very important. And I think it's like Pac-Man, right? PAC. Purpose. Why am I writing this actually? What's the whole objective? You have to ask these important questions. If you don't know the purpose, then the whole writing would have no coherence. Okay. So the first most important thing is the purpose. Second is who are you writing to? Right. So that mood would be reflected. If you're writing to your friend, you can be more personal. If you're writing to like your maybe uncle or cousin who is a distant cousin, then it might be less personal, right? If you're writing to your bestie, even more intimate and personal, right? If you're writing to your mom or dad, there's a little bit of a reverence there involved. So knowing who you're writing to is important because it would reflect in the words that you use. What words you choose. Like I said, you have to imagine that you are in that situation. Okay. And the last one is, what is the context? What is the situation? Okay. Formal, informal. Well, obviously for this one is informal, right? So the context is very important. What is the background to the story? That means what is the situation that caused you to write this letter? Okay. It could be that you had a fight with your friend and now you're writing to apologize maybe, or you're writing to ask for an apology, or you're writing to be friends again to discuss. So that's the situation behind. That means there was a fight before and you were actually good friends for a long time. So that would give you more depth in your writing. So all these things must be in your mind when you're writing. It's not just, okay, they asked me for this, I'm just going to just write point one, point two, point three. If you want to get a have a more convincing piece of writing, then you have to think more deeply about the relationship, about the situation, the background for the letter or for the writing. Are you with me? Varun, Shena, and Anla? Yeah? Okay. Any questions so far? Feel free, okay? I'm okay for you to just ask anytime. You can just unmute and just ask. Okay, so just remember PAC, right? Purpose, audience, and context. Okay, now let's look at this slide. We're talking about an informal email, right? And an informal email, who normally would you write to? Who would the audience be? Right? It could either be your family member or your classmates or friends, right? Who else do you think the audience could be for an informal email? Any thoughts? So you can prepare for an exam. Say if you're preparing for an exam, you can think of all possible situations. Family members, okay, very close to you, classmates and friends. Anyone out of these three categories who are who you would write informal email to or informal letter to. Would your teacher be considered to be an informal email? Well, it might, depending on the purpose. If you're inviting your teacher to your house for your birthday, would you do that? No, you won't. Okay, but interestingly, when I was in primary school, my teacher invited us to her house, and we would have class gatherings in her house. Yeah, but that's another point. Okay, so when you're writing an informal email, of course, you don't have to be formal. That's obvious, right? However, the tone, the writing should still be courteous and respectful. That's important, right? You can't have slang and stuff in that because it's an English assessment. Okay, you can't use the normal text, what you normally do for texting. You can't do that in the writing. That's very important because some students do that. They think that informal means I can just do like how I text my friend, like be right back, see you later, right? CYA, see ya. We can't do all that. Okay, we're going to write in proper English. That's very important. Please remember that. Okay, so although it's informal, it's using proper English. Now the tone, obviously, is a casual tone, right? It's not like I would like to request your participation in this. You can say, I'd like to invite you, more relaxed tone. Okay. And you can use contractions. Do you know what contractions are? Anyone? Varun, Anlak, Sheena?
Don't.
Yes, good. Thank you.
Say.
Whenever you shorten, that's what's contract. Contract means to make it smaller. Okay, like do not becomes don't. It is becomes it apostrophe s. You can use contractions for informal email or informal writing. But if it's formal writing, we need to avoid contractions. That's a very important point. Okay. Okay, and I just like to draw your attention. IT apostrophe S and ITS. Now I see even adults are making this mistake. IT apostrophe S means it is. Okay. And ITS means it's a possessive pronoun, right? Like its tail, the dog's tail, right? So its tail. But nowadays, I see a lot of adults, even those who are in high positions, they're writing like this. I'm very surprised. This is definitely a no-no. Because it means it is tail. It doesn't make sense, right? So just remember not to make this mistake. Okay, I'm sure you don't, but I'm just trying to say that I'm surprised that a lot of adults are making this mistake. Okay. And finally, the purpose.